So on the undercard of the Zhang Joyce rematch, we had Moses Itauma making his fifth outing against Amin Boucetta, who he smashed to pieces in one round. This was a very impressive display by Itauma, and he really just came out. He was quite patient but assertive. He was stalking Boucetta around the ring, and he used the jab to set up a beautiful left uppercut from the southpaw stance, which sent Boucetta to the deck immediately. But unlike some of Itauma's former opponents, Boucetta showed a degree of toughness, and he got up relatively quickly, but the fight was pretty much over there and then. But then Itauma just let rip with a brutal barrage of hooks to head and body after backing up Boucetta to the ropes. And after taking a few of them, Boucetta just slumped to the canvas. His corner chucked in the towel, and the referee waved off the fight. And that was all she wrote. So this isn't necessarily a breakdown of the performance, but it's an excuse, an opportunity for me to give my thoughts on Moses Itauma, because I don't believe I've actually made any videos on him. I may have touched them on a live stream, giving my thoughts then. But Moses Itauma, I feel, is a precocious talent. I think he could go on to be the real deal. I think there's clearly ability there, there's talent there, and there's good reason to be excited about his future. Of course, alongside him turning pro is really this kind of overriding narrative and storyline that this is the kid who's going to break Mike Tyson's record of being the youngest heavyweight champion in history. And a lot of people don't like it for some reason. Me personally, I think it's great. It's another storyline in boxing alongside the virtue that Itauma's already very talented and likely to have an exciting career anyway. But this adds an added element of excitement. It's like, oh wow, maybe he can actually do it. And on that, I think he can. What I see in Itauma is someone who's mature physically and mentally, and very talented, very capable, and someone who lives to box, someone who takes this very seriously. He's not treating this like a gimmick. He's daring to be great. He's like, you know what, I can do this, and I have a team around me that's willing to facilitate it. Why the hell not? Why spend year after year as an amateur trying to get to this competition and that competition when I could, go beyond the World Games, go beyond the Olympic Games, and not just become a champion, become the youngest champion. That is once in a lifetime type stuff. Going to the Olympics is once in a lifetime type stuff, but youngest heavyweight champion in history, that's serious, and that's a serious goal. And ultimately, like Hatman put it best in one of his videos recently, to be great, you have to dare to be great. And that's what he's doing. It's a dare. He's gambling. He's rolling the dice. And isn't that what we want to see in boxing? So many times people go on about, oh, this doesn't happen, this doesn't happen, oh, boxing's dead. But then you have guys like Itauma who are clearly very talented, and they're trying to push the boat out. Oh, boxing's dead. Why is he trying to do that? Oh, he's never going to make it. You can't reason with some people. But I think most objective people, like myself, I don't gain anything if Itauma becomes a heavyweight champion, a youngest heavyweight champion. But it's a storyline. It's engaging. We want to see these kind of things happen, these kind of historic moments in our lifetime watching boxing. And you get some Tyson fans who, they worship Mike Tyson, and his achievements have been immortalized, and they don't want anyone to come close to breaking them. These people aren't rational. They're not objective. They're Tyson fanboys. And look, Mike Tyson, immensely influential fighter in many people's lives, myself included. He is, for many people, the sole reason they fell in love with boxing. He's a legendary fighter, one of the most influential combat sports figures in modern combat sports history. Mike Tyson is up there. I'll be the first person to say that. However, records are there to be broken. It's nothing personal. It's just history moving on, the sport advancing. That's all it is. And to touch on, give my thoughts on whether I think Itauma can do it. Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't think it's a guarantee. It's going to be a tough road, I imagine. He still has plenty to prove. However, at this stage, we're seeing the kind of the raw ingredients, and I believe that they're there. And there are actually quite a few parallels between Itauma now and Mike Tyson when he first turned pro back in '85. If you look at the age, 18, pretty much the same. So both guys getting a young start in their careers, a quick start. They're going to be able to mature as they go through their careers. Both of them at 18 were built like grown men. Look at Itauma, 6'4", 6'5", just under 17 stone, very athletic. Mike Tyson, bit shorter at 5'10", 215 pounds, solid, explosive, athletic. Both of them having a good degree of natural ability, but also, the athleticism, but the technique as well. And one thing that many people are criticizing Itauma for and his team is the level of opposition. The guy's just turned pro. He turned pro this year. He's been pro for 8 months and he's had 5 fights. Of course, he's not going to be going in with like heavyweight contenders or fringe contenders. So I don't know why there's this impatience, but I think it's people, they want to nitpick. They maybe have a sense that Itauma could be great, but they want to try and detract from him already. Personally, I don't have an issue. I like the way they're guiding Itauma because they clearly have the vision for what they're trying to achieve. And they're actually going a similar route to Mike Tyson because, yeah, Mike Tyson's a great legendary fighter and he's current record holder. But look at his first 5 opponents. Look at them. They were tomato cans. They were recognized as tomato cans, guys that you would beat up on. They were there to take a beating and give the prospect confidence. That's exactly what's going on here with Itauma. And if it's good enough for Mike Tyson in 1985, it's good enough, in my opinion, for Itauma in 2023. So it's just part of the journey. It's the beginning of a potentially very exciting and high-level career for Itauma. So, time will tell ultimately. The proof is in the pudding. However, I think Itauma has the ability. And if he broke that record, to be honest, I wouldn't be entirely shocked. Because for the first time in a long time, there's a prospect who's turned over to the professional ranks. And I've been like, you know what? I see what the hype is about. All these people who are talking about Itauma before he'd even turned over. Usually I'm quite discerning when it comes to prospects. But I look at Itauma like, nah, this guy, he has the goods. He just needs to be able to step it up when he fights higher level opposition. He needs to be able to stick with it. And I think the sky's the limit for this guy. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you think of Itauma's performance last night and also where you think he's going in his career. Do you, like me, think he is actually, the real deal and could realistically go on to break that record? Leave it down below and I'll get back to you. But for now, thanks for listening and I'll catch you in the next video.